Have you ever watched a movie that just made you want to punch the screen? Welcome to Creepin' It Real. Thanks for joining us. I'm Judah.
I'm Jake.
We're talking about 2025's Exit 8. Now, this is based off of a video game, and I know nothing about this game. And after watching this, I'm going to make a prediction. Jake is going to say this is probably one of the most boring movies he's ever watched.
God, you don't know me at all.
Jake,
our friendship is over.
Why don't you get us started?
It's interesting, all these video game. Maybe, do you think it's because we're both kind of gamers that we're noticing this, or have there always been? I mean, we had the original Super Mario Brothers.
Exactly.
That was.
I don't know. I wonder what was the very first video game to movie adaptation there was. Do you happen to know what that is?
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
That's the first one I remember was the Super Mario Brothers.
Which did start the trend of them all being dog shit.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I had no expectations going into this, whether it was going to be exciting or not.
But it sounds like it's still, even with low expectations, it sounds like it still was below expectations.
I don't know, man. It was okay. It was a movie. They did a movie. And from my understanding and from what I've played of the game, it was, I mean, almost a 1-to-1 of the video game. So there's that. As far as the concept goes, this was very much Return to Subway Hill, if that makes sense. You've got this, it's been done a million fucking times.
So you're saying it was like Silent Hill?
To me, it had very Silent Hill vibes without all the horror.
Okay.
Just the psychological part of it, you're in purgatory or hell, and you're working through your trauma or your problems, and this environment, this liminal space is essentially forcing you to work through that.
Okay, now that you explained it, because when you first said it, I was like, I'm not seeing it. The tone is so different.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this far more than Silent Hill, the movies.
Okay.
So I enjoyed this more than all three of the movies.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock. Hitchcock is known in several of his movies where he can just pick one location and he can build an intriguing story in that one location with the characters and the intrigue that's going on inside of it. This didn't bother me. But as I was watching it, I was kind of thinking, man, this is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are going to be some people that are like, hey, I can handle, slow burns, but this is way too slow and it's repetitive. So people out there who are trashing on this, which I understand. You have this guy that's trapped in this looping subway station, and there's basically 3 rules. Look for anomalies. When you see an anomaly, turn back immediately. Rule number 1. See an anomaly, turn back immediately. Rule number 2, if you see no anomalies, keep moving. And then rule number 3 is don't ignore anything. That's it. These characters were getting thrown these softball anomalies. And when I say softball anomalies, I mean, say you're walking down this hall and then suddenly there's an elephant there. You go, oh, elephant's never been here before. Turn around, walk away. That's all you have to do. You just turn the F around and walk away. What do they do?
Pet the elephant.
I got to go pet the elephant. Maybe give it a little exam of the testicles.
And maybe there's another elephant around the corner.
Turn around immediately. My Lord. What the F are we doing
So are
here?
you talking about, because the most frustrating was the example of the Walking Man for me.
Okay.
The Walking Man was oblivious to the anomalies that were sticking out, like that girl yelling at him and stuff like that, going off on him and whatnot. The doorknob in the middle of the fucking door.
That was one. Somebody is almost blatantly pointing at an anomaly. You could have had a flashing red effing arrow.
Right.
And you just ignore it. That made me want to scream at these people. I'm like, okay, you walk. I'm trying not to spoil it. But you walk, again, the elephant, you walk in, there's a effing elephant, just turn around.
Right.
Don't stand there and wait for it to trample you. So much of this movie could have just been bypassed had they listened to the rule. See an anomaly? Turn around immediately.
There were some, though, that were a little sneaky.
There were some where it took time, but as soon as you see it, again, turn around.
Don't investigate further.
Oh my gosh.
A door opens. Turn the fuck around.
Exactly. Oh,
Don't peek inside.
So as much frustration as I had, I still did enjoy it. But that frustration is enough to drag this movie down a lot for me. Now, if you look at like Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has like an 87% with the audience score. And if you go to IMDb, it's got a 6.5 out of 10. These are pretty good scores.
Yeah.
That's okay. But for me, I got to give it a 5 out of 10 because of the stupidity of these effing characters just destroyed it so much for me, even though I enjoyed the visuals and I was fine with the slow burn.
Yeah.
But the stupidity of these MFers.
The cinematography I thought was great in this because you're working in such a small space to make it interesting. The camera views, the angle changes, the slow turns, so the camera wasn't directly over the shoulder, essentially. So it was almost delayed. I enjoyed that part of it. There was a lot of frustration where, so I watched this with my wife, and I'm like, hey, you want to watch a movie? And she's all like, she's a normie. She doesn't get horror. And she gets nightmares with anything. So I was like, I'm pretty sure this is fairly tame when it comes to that. But I think one of the most fun parts I had with her was looking for these anomalies before the characters found them.
Yes, I was going to,
and so we sat there and we're both like paying attention. So this movie forces you to pay attention as if you were actually in the movie, which I thought was cool because it really pulls you in to experience the movie on a different level than Black Sheep, for instance. I never in any moment you get that disconnect with like foreign movies and stuff like that, where you're in a different environment and that kind of pulls you in. For me, it's like, okay, how am I getting involved here? So I thought that was really neat, and they did a great job with the small space. The story was kind of like lackluster, like it wasn't passive whatsoever when it came to its storyline. You didn't have to really figure this out.
Yeah.
It was thrown in your face. So, take it or leave it. If you are one of those people that has to like try and guess the ending of the movie and stuff like that, this isn't one of those movies. There's no real interpretations here. It's just like, this is the movie, this is the setup, bada bing, bada boom.
Exactly. It was.
I land in the same spot as you do. I'm a 5 on here. It wasn't the most boring movie I've ever watched.
I thought for sure that you wouldn't give it anything higher than a 4.
Yeah, I mean, it was a movie. I'll tell you this: I have zero desire to play the game fully through.
The movie did not help the game.
No, so
for me, it would be a recommend if you can pick it up like at the library for free, or maybe it was already on a streaming service you've already got. But I paid $10 to watch this, and I didn't think it was worth that.
No.
But if somebody came up to me and they were talking to me about whether or not they should see it, they already had a minor interest in it, I would say, yeah, go ahead and check it out. But I'm not going to go to somebody and say, you have to watch this movie because it's a whatever. It definitely was good for a one watch, but it infuriated me. That's the end of our review. If you made it this far, you're a champion. You get a gold star. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching. I'm Judah.
I'm Jake.
This has been Creepin' and Real, and we'll talk to you
Bye.
later.